But I'd just like to welcome everybody, those of you who this is your first Wise Senior Connect, welcome. A lot of you I recognize, but I'm Jane Copeland, the Active Older Adult Coordinator, and I'd just like to welcome our speaker today is Officer Harvey from the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office. We're really excited to have him here today. I think this was a topic that Pinky, who's on with us today, had asked me some weeks ago if we could cover, and so I was just really happy to make this connection and bring this together. So I'm very excited that we can do this. And now that we've got an archive on our website and our YouTube page, if you know somebody who you think you want to share this with and they want to see this at a later date, that can happen as well. So without any further ado, I'd like to welcome everybody. Thanks for coming back, and welcome Officer Harvey.
Thank you very much for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Officer Nathaniel Harvey with the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office. I have been with the agency for years, and I'm in a part of the agency that is brand new under Sheriff McFadden called Community Engagement. So we have someone staring at me through the window. I apologize. We do kind of non-traditional things that you wouldn't think that law enforcement does. A key example is when the pandemic hit and the kids were unable to go to school. There's a huge number of children that they rely on that school lunch for just their everyday meal because they don't have what they need at home. So what we did was we partnered with the schools, and our whole team every day through the end of last year's school year, we delivered the school lunches to children that were technically homeless. They were living in hotels all throughout the city, hotels and motels. So we would take them 2 meals, like we would bring them lunch for that day and breakfast for the next day. And that's kind of how it would work through the week, Monday through Friday. And the numbers of meals that we served for months on end is just absolutely staggering. The homeless problem, we typically don't think of it as affecting children as much as it does. So that's something that we do. We do food pantries, like mobile food pantries. We'll partner with Second Harvest and go and do a pop-up food pantry in the community that they need help, they need food, and we'll facilitate that. We've partnered with Samaritan's Feet to go out and give shoes to people who don't have the money to buy good shoes. We go out and we'll take blankets and sweatshirts and clothes to our homeless population. We'll go to the homeless camps. So just different kinds of things. We've got a bunch of stuff coming up, like next Monday, there's a voter registration thing, community event that we're going to be a part of. So just kind of changing the way people interact with law enforcement is our main goal. So scams, obviously, it's a big issue. These on the screen, these are just some of your typical types of scams. We have identity theft, Social Security, Medicare, card skimming. Card skimming, that's when your credit card information or your debit card information gets stolen, like at a gas pump. Brushing scams, we'll talk about that. Gift card scams, jury duty scams, and romance scams. I have a question. If you think you know the answer, you can speak up. But what do you think are the most common types of scams, the most popular?
I would think
card skimming.
So imposter scams and debt collection. So the imposter scams, and I don't know why they named it this, but it falls under romance scams. So what that is basically people meet people online and they say there's something that they're not, and the relationship that they build typically will, at some point, they'll end up asking for money. What age group do you think falls victim to the most scams?
Older people.
Okay. The most scams, and it's 43% of the scams are people that are targeted are between 18 and 34,
Wow.
which is surprising. It's not what you
Yay
would
for us!
think. And okay, so Americans 55 and older, 27.6% were victims. But here's where it gets, this is where, why you are right to be concerned about scams and being in the older demographic. The occurrence is less for older Americans, but seniors typically will lose more money in scams than the younger victims. So the younger people, when they're kind of quick to jump on, but then they realize, hey, something's hinky, something's not right, so they'll get out of it. The older population, while it's a lower number, they are taken advantage of for a longer period of time and lose more money.
We also get the grandma phone calls.
Yes. Social Security scams. These are big, and we'll see if this works here. I have a little example of just what a phone call of a Social Security scam would sound like.
This is due to an error. You may connect with Legal Cell of Social Security Administration. In order to connect with a Social Security Administration officer, press 1 now. In case we did not hear from you, your social will be blocked permanently. To connect with the officer now, press 1 and you will be automatically be connected with the concerned departments. We did not receive any input. Dear citizen, in order to speak with Social Security personnel regarding your Social Security, press 1 and this automated system will connect you with the officials. Press 1 now to connect.
All right, so has anyone ever received a phone call like this?
Yes, I'm currently getting those calls.
Okay, if it's
couple-
on your cell phone,
No, it's on my
on
landline.
your home phone.
Mhm.
Okay, so what you're going to want to do to that is you're going to want to reach out to the Federal Trade Commission. They're the governmental organization that handles scams.
Mhm.
Like, do you have caller ID on your phone?
Yes.
So you're going to want to write down the number when they're calling you, and don't engage with them. Just stay on long enough to get the phone number and hang up, and then call or go to the website of the Federal Trade Commission, and it says that you can report what they're trying to do, and they will investigate it and prosecute if need be.
Well, I hardly ever answer the phone when they do that, but I hear that they leave a message.
As long as you have the phone number, and
Yeah.
like if they leave a message, that's fine too. Then that's just more information you can give them that they can build whatever case that they're going to build against whoever's trying to scam you.
Right.
So this screen right here, these are the big takeaways. They all your scams, they want to play on fear. So they may say your Social Security number is going to get suspended. That doesn't happen. They're going to sound official. They're using the robo voice, robo call, so that they can try to make it sound like it's a business. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to hear from an actual person. They may even say that they're protecting you from a scam, but they're not. So the big thing, only use government websites and phone numbers that you know to be legitimate. So the Federal Trade Commission is ftc.gov. All your government websites are .gov. And the bottom point there, the US government, we're a little behind times. They typically will contact you by the postal mail. I have a story here that I found out of Roseville, California. I need to look over here at the story. It says a 92-year-old lady in Roseville, California was taking a cab to go to the bank. The cab driver started a conversation with her and asked her what she was doing. She told him she was going to withdraw $25,000 to settle a debt with the IRS. He told her it sounded like a scam and asked if he could call the number that had contacted her. She said, okay. So he called the number, and the person on the other end kept hanging up on him and eventually blocked his phone number. But the lady still wasn't convinced that it was a scam. So the cab driver asked her if she would talk to the police. Like, if there's anything that you do, can I take you to the police station? So he took her to the police department, and an officer was able to convince her that this was indeed a scam. So, like, that's just something to be aware of. And this is, I got this out of a newspaper online. So we'll move into the next part about Medicare. Have anybody in the group here, have you experienced having Medicare call you for a legitimate reason? Like, if you've been working with them, do they call you, or has anybody gotten just random calls about Medicare? Okay.
No.
If not, how it typically goes down, someone representing Medicare will call and ask for personal information. So there's only two reasons that they would contact you. It says a Medicare health or drug plan can call you if you are already a member of the plan and it's the agent who helped you join. So the person calling you, you're already gonna have a relationship with. And a customer service representative from 1-800-MEDICARE can call you only if you've called and left a message asking for a representative to call you back. So here is an example of a Medicare scam phone call.
I'm from Medicare. We're sending out the new cards, and I need to confirm your billing information to keep your coverage active. For your protection, I need the last 4 numbers of your Social Security number. We need this urgently, or else you'll be charged a fee.
Scammers call people pretending to be Medicare representatives. If you receive a phone call from someone acting like a Medicare rep, asking for your personal information, bank details, or Medicare number, it's a scam. Do not give any personal information or money. If someone calls you offering free equipment or services in exchange for your Medicare information, do not accept and hang up. Don't worry about being rude or embarrassed. They're not going to give you free equipment. They just want your information for identity theft. If you get a phone call informing you of new policies or updates about Medicare, do not engage. Instead, initiate the call to Medicare. Then you can make sure that you're calling the correct number to talk to Medicare directly and report it to them. Medicare scams can happen to anyone, but if you tell the people around you, you might just keep it from happening to them. Whatever the scenario, remember 2 things: hang up and report the call.
All right, so the big thing to take away here, Medicare, the companies, they do not offer free equipment. I guess one of the scams in the past was they were offering DNA testing kits to make sure that you're healthy. So if someone calls to the video, says you hang up, and the number is real easy, 1-800-MEDICARE. That's 1-800-633-4227. They're just trying to get you scared, and they're trying to get you to give up personal information. And then report the call. They gave the little website, ftc.gov/complaint. But if you just go to ftc.gov, there's a link like at the top of the screen. It says file a complaint. And you just go through the steps there. Some of the cell phone companies do offer scam call blocking apps. They're offered like mainly I think it's the wireless phone carriers. Like I know I have Verizon as my cell phone carrier, and if it's I don't know what how they can tell, but it'll say, it'll have the number on the caller ID, and it'll say like potential fraud or potential scam. So I don't know if it's just based on data from the FTC saying, hey, this type of number, this area code and an exchange combination they're seeing a high number of scams. So that could be where they're able to recognize that this could be a fraudulent phone call. If you have an iPhone, like there are settings within your phone, you can set it up so that you can only receive calls from your contacts, like your family, people that you know, if you feel that you're constantly being taken advantage, people are trying to take advantage of you. All right, these are skimmers. These are illegal card readers that are attached to payment terminals, and they read the magnetic strip on the card, and sometimes they're used in conjunction with a fake PIN pad. They're used on ATMs, gas pumps, and grocery stores, and they account for $1 billion in losses per year. And this technology and that picture right there, that's actually like most things with technology, it's a little old. They have found a way recently to make the skimmers to where they don't even need to put something on the outside of the machine. They break, like at the gas pumps, they will break into the machines, put a very small, like computer chip sized device, attach it in there, and it records. It like taps into the camera system on the pump, and it will record your PIN number in conjunction with your card number, because they need both those things for it to work. So what I always do if I'm pumping gas, if I'm not gonna pay inside, if I'm paying at the pump, I'll look at the pump. I'll maybe grab and try to wiggle, where you put the credit card in, make sure there's nothing loose. And there's like red pieces of tape that have writing on it that show that it's been inspected. Make sure that is together and not, ripped or broken. Those are some quick visual things that you can look at to make sure that the pump hasn't been tampered with. But if they've put something on the inside, you're not going to be able to see it from the outside. A big problem with that is a lot of the gas pumps across the country, the keys to open up the guts of the machine, it's just a generic skeleton key kind of thing where they work on all the pumps. So if these criminals get a hold of that key, they get in there at night and try, like they can have this installed into the pump in less than 2 minutes. Some of you're like, and it's also a fair point to say that this is more likely to happen at your smaller kind of mom and pop gas stations that maybe they're out in the country, or they're just, out in the middle of nowhere. But your bigger gas station chains, like I know QT nationwide, they're very high up on fraud prevention. So a part of their daily routine for the managers of the gas station, they're supposed to inspect every pump, like once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once in the evening, to make sure they all look right and they haven't been messed with. So if you're traveling, don't try maybe not to get off the exit in the middle of nowhere. Hopefully plan your trip out so that you're not running on fumes, but get off at a bigger, more bustling intersection with more gas stations, more stores, just more stuff going on. And you're probably going to find a gas station that's a part of a big chain, and you're going to be, you can feel a little more safe. But the best way to prevent it, and I do this a lot now ever since I took this training on skimmers, I just prepay inside. say, hey, put $10 on 5 or whatever. And it takes a little longer, but I know for sure nobody's going to be getting my information. These are just some pictures. You can see in the picture on the left, with the blue around it, it sticks out further than the actual card reader on the right. So that's something that, you know, by feeling around, you'd be able to see that. And at the picture on the right of even inside the store, someone has created something to lay over the actual card reader to steal the data. But like I said, that's older technology, and you're probably not going to see that as much nowadays.
What about ATMs?
That could be. So in the case of that, even if it's got a skimmer, if they don't get your PIN number, you'll be okay. So it's as simple as covering the PIN pad real close with your hand under your fingers so that you can put your PIN number in, and they won't be able to get it. But if they have been as brave as an ATM at an actual bank, you know, security cameras everywhere because they want to make sure their customers are safe. But like I said, just cover the PIN pad with your hand so that they can't get that PIN number, because they can't do anything with it without those 4 little numbers.
When they ask for the zip code, is that the PIN number?
No, it would be whatever. That's just, you'll get that a lot. Like if you're traveling, they just want to make sure that it's not a stolen card. But no, your PIN number would be whatever your personal identification number that you set up with your bank card or whatever.
I never use a PIN number.
Well, then you might be just paying as credit.
Yeah, it is credit.
Yeah, with that, you're fine.
Okay. Oh, I have a credit card I use online only. It gets scammed about 3 times a year.
Like they steal your
They
information.
steal my number. The last one, it was comical because it was about 10 days ago. It was stolen. They got the number, the address, the birth date, but they used a fake name. And of all things, they bought one of those from a regular insurance company that helps cover scams. That's what they bought.
That's wild.
It was.
So I'd say as far as your personal information, like I know at home we have a shredder, and any kind of mail that we get, if it's got personal information on it, it goes in the shredder, and we get it that way, because people aren't above digging through the garbage to try to take advantage of people. And especially it'd be interesting to know if the scam numbers have gone up in regards to like identity theft because of people being out of work, what have you, with the pandemic that we have going on. But our next part here, this is actually something that has happened several times in Charlotte regarding our agency, is jury duty scams. People will get a phone call saying that they've missed jury duty, that they're going to be fined a tremendously large amount of money, that if you pay this money, you'll be okay. But here's something to know, like a law enforcement officer, we're not going to call you and give you a heads up to threaten you that we're going to arrest you. If we need to arrest you, we're just going to come and arrest you. We're not going to say, oh, hey, by the way, don't go anywhere. We'll be there in 5 minutes. But it's another one of those things. They try to play on people's fear. You know, you get that phone number that you don't recognize. Someone sounds official, and they're like, you need to pay this money right now, or you're going to get arrested. You know, nobody wants to go to jail. Nobody wants to get arrested, so they might fall
Let me
prey
ask
to
you
it.
about jury duty. Do they have an age limitation on jury duties?
I don't believe they do.
Okay. I thought some
It would
places
depend
they,
on your, it would depend on your, like if you have health issues or something, there's different ways you can, if you can't serve, you can write and it has to be removed.
okay.
But like, so one of the things they'll do is they'll call after hours. So that should be red flag number one. You know, most of this stuff, it's going to be kind of like Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. That's when the court system is kind of up and running. So that's when you would get the phone call. You're not going to be getting an out, you know, late in the evening call. But you should also know that there's technology out there that they could be calling from anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, but they can manipulate the caller ID to make it look like it's a local phone number. So the biggest thing, if you have concerns of the phone call, hang up, look up the courthouse phone number, verify with the jury coordinator or the clerk of Superior Court. Call them, say, hey, have I been summoned for jury duty? Because I don't remember getting anything in the mail. And then you can also call the sheriff's office, because the sheriff here in Mecklenburg County, we do the civil process arm of the court. We do courtroom security, and their bailiffs, everything law enforcement regarding the court is handled by the sheriff's office. And they're you know, the fines that you would get for missing jury duty, they're like $15. And you can see on this screen, I just put this up, that we had to put this out on our Facebook page in February of this year, that people were calling citizens claiming to be deputies, stating that they have a warrant for failure to appear in Mecklenburg County Court. To avoid arrest, they were demanding $2,000 to $3,000. But right here is the kicker: to be paid in the form of Bitcoin. We don't want Bitcoin. We want money. We want something that you can actually spend. So you'll see like cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, you'll see send money in gift cards. That's not how that should be clue number one. They're asking for some different and strange type of payment. And the best way to stay abreast with our agency of things that are going on would be through our social media. We post, that's our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitter. We post the same thing on all three platforms. So if any of you have social media, that's the best way to stay in the know as to things that are going on. Even all our press releases, we put them out on social media. So, because that's the easiest way to keep people informed and up to date in real time to things that are going on. Right. Brushing. Brushing is a scam by a vendor that is used to bolster product ratings and increase visibility online by shipping an inexpensive product to an unwitting receiver and then submitting a positive review under the receiver's behalf under the guise of a verified owner. So seems like a harmless kind of scam. They're just trying to build up their own business by writing fake reviews for sending stuff. They're not taking any money. There's no charges that are being made to the account. The downside is you could end up receiving large amounts of deliveries of unwanted cheap products. You might even be getting just empty boxes, and it's more of a nuisance than anything else. And it can be difficult to stop the items from coming to your house. So one thing you can do, you can contact the website that the items are coming from and let them know, hey, I think I'm a victim of brushing here. I'm getting a bunch of stuff that I didn't order. And the companies, they may tell you to keep the goods or just give them away or throw them away. They typically don't want them back. right, for romance scams. And in our disconnected society, people long for human connection. One way they reach out is through social media. In 2018, people reported losing $143 million to romance scams. And that was higher than any other type of scam reported to the FTC. The median reported loss was $2,600, and for people over 70, it was $10,000. Romance scammers create fake profiles on dating sites and apps, contact their targets through popular social media sites like Instagram, Facebook, or Google Hangouts. They strike up a relationship with the target to build their trust, sometimes talking or chatting several times a day. Then they'll make up a story and ask for money. There was an 80-year-old man who was scammed out of over $200,000 by a person that he met through an online dating service. This person posed as a woman living in Florida and spent months speaking with the victim under the pretense of engaging in a long-distance romantic relationship. The victim believed that he was investing in an art gallery in Florida. He received fake museum documents and bank statements. Over 5 months, he made payments to overseas bank accounts because he believed the money was to be used to ship a statue of a lion from China to the museum in Florida. So this was kind of like a long con. This person took months and just built this fake relationship, and even went as far as creating fake documents so that this guy would make these payments and be like, I've got some money, I want to invest, I like this person. And he ended up getting scammed out of $200,000. Some of the lies that they'll say is that they're traveling outside of the US, and the FTC has heard scammers just say they're either working on an oil rig, they're in the military, or they're a doctor with an international organization. They'll ask them to pay for a plane ticket or travel expensive, pay for surgery, other medical expenses. They'll say, I was working on the oil rig and they got hurt and I need help to pay for these. They ask to pay for customs fees to retrieve something, pay off gambling debts, pay for a visa or other official travel documents. They'll ask them to pay by wiring money with reload cards, like MoneyPack, or gift cards from vendors like Amazon, Google, iTunes, or Steam. So the gift cards, that's another key. Like, it's when you put money on the gift card, it's hard to trace where it goes. It's hard to trace how it gets spent. So that's why they use them. Here's the bottom line: never send money or gifts to a sweetheart you haven't met in person. If you suspect that this could be a romance scam, stop communicating with the person immediately. Talk to someone you trust and pay attention if your friends and family say they're concerned about your new love interest. Do a search for the type of job the person has to see if other people have heard similar stories. For example, you could do a search for oil rig scammer or U.S. Army scammer. You can also browse the comments on FTC blog posts about romance scams to hear other people's stories. If you think it's a scam, report it to the FTC. Notify the website or app where you met the person that they're a scammer. If you paid a romance scammer with a gift card, contact the company that issued the card right away. Tell them you paid a scammer with a gift card and ask if they can refund their money. So I think depending on how long it's taken for that to transpire, that may or may not be, you may or may not be able to get your money back. 2020, it's a census year. So, and with the ongoing pandemic, it keeps getting extended. So, got a little video here.
Every 10 years, the U.S. Census Bureau does a national head count. They also do smaller surveys in years not ending in a zero, and scammers are also counting. Here are 5 ways to not get taken by a census scam. Verify that a census taker who comes to your home is legitimate. They should have a Census Bureau photo ID badge and a copy of the letter the Bureau sent you. Confirm that the questionnaire you've received is on the Census Bureau's official list of household or business surveys. Check that your census mailing has a return address of Jeffersonville, Indiana. Don't give your social security, mother's maiden name, or banking info to someone claiming to be from the Census Bureau. Genuine census reps won't ask for that information. Don't reply, click, or open attachments in a suspicious census email. For more tips on how to avoid scams, go to aarp.org/FraudWatchNetwork and make sure to tune in to RFD TV the third Thursday of each month for Rural America Live with AARP.
Okay, so just a quick recap. You're gonna want to always check not that they're, I mean, they still are out there. They have until, it's been extended, they have until October 31st of this year to finish up collecting their field data. It was supposed to end September 30th, but I just saw today it's been extended for another month. So you still could be getting a knock at the door if you haven't already submitted your census data. So if they do come to the door, you're always going to want to check their photo ID and a copy of the letter that the Bureau sent you. They should have that. You can confirm the questionnaire on the website. And here's the big thing that I didn't realize, because all the mail for the census is going to have a return address of Jeffersonville, Indiana. So that's something to always take note of. But we're back to the basics. Don't ever give your social security number, your mother's maiden name, or bank information. Those are like red flags that they are trying to steal your information so they can do something fraudulent.
Why is your mother's maiden name so precious?
It's a way, because if we think about all the things that we can do online nowadays, there's little bits of data. That's the way they can try to trace you back to make sure they've got the right information for the right person.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we've entered the pandemic of the coronavirus outbreak. Scammers are taking advantage of the people's fears surrounding the coronavirus. They're setting up websites to sell bogus products, using fake emails, texts, social media posts as a ruse to take your money, get your personal information. Emails and posts may be promoting awareness and prevention tips and fake information about cases in your neighborhood. They also may be asking you to donate to victims, offering advice on unproven treatments, or contain malicious email attachments. So you always want to be careful. Like when I get emails that, you can kind of tell by the subject if it's something you even need to open. But if it's got anything to do with coronavirus, I'm probably just going to straight delete it. I'm not even going to open it. So yeah, don't click on links from sources that you don't know. It could download a virus on your computer. Make sure your anti-malware or antivirus software on your computer is always up to date. Watch for emails claiming to be from the CDC or experts saying that they have information about the virus. For the most up-to-date information about the coronavirus, you can go straight to the CDC website or the World Health Organization. Ignore online offers for vaccinations. If you see ads touting prevention, treatment, or cure claims for the coronavirus, ask yourself, if there's been a medical breakthrough, will we be hearing about it for the first time through an ad or a sales pitch? So, as we get closer and closer to the vaccine that they are working on, just be wary. You're gonna hear about it on the news before you would hear about it through an email or social media. So I guess this is a recently new scam on WhatsApp or Facebook offering for free help during the pandemic. People have reported seeing a message from Pepsi, Walmart, Whole Foods, Target, and other big name brands. And the message, all these messages offer money to people who need it through grants, coupons for food support, or other giveaways, but every single one of them, they're fake and they're not from those companies. You could get this kind of message in English, Spanish from a friend. The message tells you to click a link to get your money. If you click, you might find a survey to take, or they might ask you to enter your name, address, phone number, or other information. They might ask you to forward the message to several friends to be eligible to collect. So if they want you to forward it, they just want you to try to unknowingly propagate their scam to where they're trying to get money off people. What these messages are really doing is running what's called a phishing scam to collect your information. And they could possibly be putting malware on your phone, tablet, or computer if you click that link. There's no money to get, no help to be had, just scammers. Would have been a real hopeful friend who forwarded that message to you, but it could have been a scammer who hacked your friend's account. So what do you do if you get one of these messages? Don't click on any of the links. That could download the malware, expose you to even more scams, and add your phone number to list sold to other scammers. Just straight away delete the messages, and certainly don't share them. Call the friend who shared the message and ask them, hey, did you engage in this? Because their account might have been compromised or hacked. So if they've done that, you can send them turn them to the FTC to try to get some help. Right, so what is identity theft? It's when someone steals your personal information to commit fraud. Most often they'll apply for credit, file taxes, or try to get medical service. And a lot of times the way people will find out that they've become a victim of identity theft is they'll receive a bill for something that you didn't buy. The debt collection calls could start, or letters concerning accounts that you didn't open, or you could apply for a loan and I've got great credit, but you get a denial, and you're like something's not right. You could check your credit score and find that you've got an unexpected drop. The IRS advises you that someone has already filed your taxes, not receiving all your expected mail from the mailbox, or you notice a health insurance company that you've reached your benefit limit. It's all things that you should, you have a pretty good idea of what you should have available. So another thing, this was just on the FTC website, I think Monday is when I saw this. It's called the Waiting Package Phishing Scam. And you get a text like what's on the screen there. Thomas, we came across a parcel from March pending for you. Kindly claim ownership and schedule for delivery here. And it's kind of blued out, but it would be a link that you would click on your phone. A lot of what that could be from is from when kids were in college at the end of last year, and they got sent home because of the pandemic. And they go back and they think, oh, there's something that was supposed to be delivered to me, back in March or whatever, and I never picked it up. So whatever the message is, the rule stays the same. If you get an unexpected text message about a package, don't click any links. If you think the message could be legitimate, contact the company using a website or phone number that you know is real. Don't use the information in the text message. Why do you want to avoid clicking the link? Once you click, they can trick you into giving personal information, letting scammers steal your passwords, account numbers, or social security numbers. Clicking these links could also let scammers download malware to your device. So if you feel that you're going about your life and you think you've become the victim of identity theft, you kind of want to follow the steps here. You want to call the companies where the fraud occurred. Place a fraud alert and get your credit reports. Report the identity theft to the FTC. File a report with your local police department. Close any new accounts opened in your name. Remove the bogus charges from your accounts. Correct your credit report. And add an extended fraud alert or credit freeze. And this, it sounds all easy peasy when you just you just follow the steps. But as you know, anything dealing with the banks and the government, it's not going to be easy. Just last Christmas, me and my wife went and visited our family in Dallas. So rather than, everybody, my generation, we started buying presents online rather than going to the stores. Rather than buy presents, have them shipped to Charlotte, and then drive them halfway across the country, we would just order the stuff and have it shipped straight to our family's house in Texas. So we ordered several things, and then all of a sudden her bank debit card stopped working. So it took a very long amount of time on on the phone to get connected to the fraud department. They wanted to make sure people hadn't stolen our number, which, you know, on the one hand, it's good that they're looking out for our safety, but it's also slightly annoying when it's actually you. You're like, trying to do this because it's easy, it's convenient. Yes, it's me, and please unfreeze my debit card because I need to go buy groceries. So, you know, they're looking out for our best interests, but I think, like most people, we get kind of annoyed when we have to spend an extended amount of time on the telephone trying to get things straightened out when in the end there wasn't really any problems. So we've covered quite a bit. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question. You know, you see on TV these ads to buy something to protect people from stealing ownership of your home. Is that a real thing, and what do you do to protect from that?
Like after you've like after you own your home?
Right, you're the owner of your home, but somehow thieves can assume ownership and you don't even know it until it's too late. And there are these products you see advertised on TV to protect you from that.
I've never heard of that before. I'm going to have to look into that.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is it safer to use a credit card versus a debit card? Do you have less chance of being scammed?
I think, like for me, I typically, in my personal life, I use a debit card all the time. I try to stay away from credit. I think the biggest thing, like if you're using a debit card, I think it's just as safe. You just need to cover your hand wherever you're at whenever you're putting in your PIN number. So
But
that,
they can't see the security code on the back.
right. But like I said, if it's mainly for if there would be, you don't want to walk around thinking that there are skimmers in every single device, because that's not possible. But it's more important, like when you're at the gas station, outside, places like that, to make sure that you cover your hand, because it's stopping them from having the ability to get into your account.
Okay,
Your PIN number and the card number.
thank you.
I'd just like to mention about the credit card versus the debit card. One thing I found is that with the debit card, the money comes out of your account right away.
Yeah.
With the credit card, it doesn't. And although you may get it back, I mean, you do get it back when it's fraud, you have to wait. That was, because I've had that happen on my debit card. So, and I understand your point about not doing credit, but as long as I pay it right away, I felt a little more.
Like there was an extra layer of protection.
Right, that I didn't have, right. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. And I think that just comes down to your preference.
Personal preference, yeah.
I recently had a girlfriend of mine's parents get taken for a good bit of money because some scammers were able to call and make her think that her granddaughter was in trouble, and they were concerned about her, and they felt like they needed, and they told her not to call, or it was a extended thing, and it went on for an hour or so where they were calling back, but they were asking for money, and I think they deposited into, they were told they were given a PIN number to deposit into a ATM machine, but I think it was like $10,000 that they lost trying to protect their granddaughter. So just be aware that those things or, you know, if somebody calls, don't assume that, you know, and I think that's a very, I mean, that's a very common scheme, I'm afraid. And it's awful because people are just trying to, you know, look after their loved ones. So.
Yeah. My just very similar thing. Same kind of situation. My captain, he has a daughter, and he gets a frantic phone call from his mom, so his daughter's grandmother, because they had received the same kind of phone call saying, we have your granddaughter, send money, blah, blah, blah. So, but she at least, she went ahead and called her son, say, hey, where's your daughter? I'm getting this phone call. And he was able to say, she's right here with me, you know. So that's the biggest thing. Like the scammers, they want to prey on your fear.
This is what I call the grandma calls.
Yeah, you're right, Pinky.
And I get rid of them because I tell them that my oldest grandson is a police officer in Philadelphia, and they hang up on me.
That's because they don't want to mess with you.
You're right about that.
But with the social media that the kids are on, Instagram and Facebook and all that, it's easy to, you can also get people's voices, because there's so much we put out there online, particularly the younger people, but it's easy to get people's voices. So in this case, I think that she felt like she actually heard her in the background.
Well, that was the thing with my captain's mother. They had a girl that was, you know, similar age to his daughter, that they actually put her on the phone, like, grandma, send the money, you know, so they don't hurt me. So like they even took it to a next level, but you know, they were scamming. And Rick, just to put in here real quick, are you able to change the view here so that I can see everybody?
Can you stop sharing your screen? Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, just can you stop sharing your screen? I don't know that I can do it. There you go.
There we go.
There
I
you
can
go.
see you all again. I'm sure you Carolinians don't want to see my Pittsburgh Steelers home screen. So we have any more questions?
Anybody got anything for Officer Harvey today? The other thing that I just got recently is there's a lot of email scams that are coming in. It looked like I got one from Sam's Club. I don't know what it wanted, but it was funny. It was like, I can't remember what it was offering, but my husband had just bought something for my father-in-law from Sam's Club. I was like, did you order anything? And the Sam's Club logo was like a circle instead of a diamond. So, but otherwise it looked exactly like a legitimate Sam's Club thing. And, you know,
Yeah.
and so because I knew my husband was purchasing my father-in-law's medication from Sam's Club, I started to think it was legitimate and look at it. And then I realized that, you know, wait a minute, why would I be getting this? You know, so I think, you know, if you're ever in doubt or if you see something, and now it's like with just as artificial intelligence, they can almost predict some of the stuff you might be thinking or might be doing online. So you have to be really cautious, and you just need to back out and go directly to the site. If you're ever in question, make a phone call or send a, you know, go online and check the email address of the business, because there's a lot of stuff.
It's hard to say that you don't want to trust people, but kind of like trust but verify everything. You know,
well, another thing that we could have added to the romance scams is that meeting people like that in person can certainly not be a good thing to do.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for this program. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
You're very
Yes,
welcome.
thank you very much.
And what I can do, I can do some research about this products to protect your home ownership, and I can shoot her an email and she can disseminate whatever information I'm able to find to you folks. But
That'd be great. Well, we really appreciate your time today. It's so easy to just, you know, come across these things and think, oh, this is legitimate, and particularly like the grandmother thing, I know a lot of people get that. That's when you think a loved one is in danger. It's frightening, and it's scary, and it's sort of admirable to think that you'd do anything to take care of a loved one like that. But it's but it turns out to be when it turns out to be a scam like that, it's sometimes hard to, and when people ask you to give money in weird ways too, that's usually a red flag too.
Yeah, the Bitcoin or gift cards or anything like that, that's red flag number one.
Yeah.
And then phone call I probably get a couple times a week is they'll call me about my extended warranty on my car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get this too.
Couple times a week I get that phone call.
Yeah, lots of warranty stuff.
Yep.
So, well, Officer Harvey, thank you for coming out and being with us today. We really appreciate it. Next week, we'll be talking with Parks and Rec. Kind of a little, it's beautiful weather, and hopefully there's so many new greenways opening up and new sections that are just gorgeous to experience. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what they have to say. This topic was inspired by Pinky. So if you guys have topics that you want to hear or things you would like to have addressed, just shoot me an email. Hopefully, if you're not on my Monday email of update about what we're doing, let me know and I can get you on there. And then again, on this past Monday, I sent out the link. All these programs that we're doing now, you can watch on the YMCA YouTube page or through their website. So that's there for you to follow up on or share with a friend later if they weren't able to join us. So it was great to see everybody. We appreciate you. We miss seeing you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Have a good
All
day.
right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, Officer Harvey.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Take care.